Welcome back to a special edition of the Disney Dish podcast with Jim Hill. It's me, Len Testa. And this is a show that we are recording on Schmurz Day, June 19th, 2020. And the reason we're doing this is, as you guys know, Jim and I normally record on Thursdays, but now it's Friday, and Disney's already done 2 sets of important announcements since we recorded the show. So this is going to be a quick recap of those announcements. Let's get started by bringing in the man who asks, if we shouldn't eat midnight snacks, why is there a light in the refrigerator? It's Mr. Jim Hill. Jim, how's it going?
Excuse me. I have to step to the refrigerator just to check. Never mind. Okay.
Still there. Still
All
right,
there.
Jim.
Okay.
So last night, we hinted, by the way, you guys will hear this, your listeners, you'll hear this. On the show that we recorded yesterday, we hinted that there would be some major announcements coming up. These are those announcements after we recorded. The first one, Jim, was that, let's start with the bad news. Bad news was no Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party for 2020. And Disney's reasoning for this, and I think this is perfectly valid reasoning, by the way, is that the key components of the Not So Scary Halloween party, things like the parade, the fireworks, the trick-or-treating, the character greetings, no practical way to do that in an era of social distancing. So that makes sense to you. What's your take on this, Jim?
In addition to social distancing, there's the whole cleaning aspect. And
oh, right. Yeah. How could you couldn't clean the park after in the short amount of time between regular park closure and start of Halloween party in a given day?
yeah, the very stuff that used to make this event easy to do, like the mix-in moment where, you can pick up your wristband, and that just doesn't fly in a COVID-19 concerned era. So
right.
Yeah, it's a tough call, and a lot of people are pivoting to the effect of, okay, so what does this mean about Halloween Horror Nights at Universal? And it's like, the issue there is that this is their 30th anniversary year. And
big year for it, yeah.
Yeah, so I think somebody was pointing out it's not necessarily canary in the coal mine. If Disney shuts down Mickey's Not So Scary, that's going to mean Universal pulls the plug on Halloween Horror Night for this year. But it does bear watching.
Right. Speaking of other things that are canceled, Disney's announced the cancellations of H2O Glow Nights. The hard ticket event at night at Typhoon Lagoon will not happen this year, and they'll be issuing refunds on that. So those are the downside announcements that came out. On the positive side, though, Jim, how much do you like food and wine? Do you like it a lot, Jim? Do you like it a lot?
Disney actually, in a weird sort of way, needs to be applauded for this, because face it, they had done so much prep for Flower and Garden, and the outdoor kitchens, they changed the name from each of the events to the artistic studios or whatever they called them. They were already in place. So, it does in fact make sense to, just push ahead to our next event. But geez, starting in July.
Okay, folks. So July 15th is the beginning of Food and Wine this year. And Disney says it's going to continue through the fall. I note, Jim, that the fall ends on December 21st. And Disney's also said that they're combining Flower and Garden into Food and Wine. You'll be able to see all of the Flower and Garden topiary that are remaining. You'll find Flower and Garden merchandise, the scavenger hunt, the Remy Ratatouille hide and squeak is still there, and all of that stuff that was available will still be available. This, I think, it is obvious. This is Disney making the best of a bad situation here, right?
Certainly. I guess we should also talk about what was buried in the language of the announcement yesterday. Again, because obviously people, after Halloween Horror Night got canceled, and likewise the extendo version here of Food and Wine, it's like, well, what does this mean about Mickey's Very Merry, or for that matter, holidays around the world? Epcot's,
well, okay,
program.
So let me segue into that. They did say that for Flower Garden Food and Wine, that the Eat to the Beat concert series will be canceled. And I think that's for a couple of reasons. One, they mentioned that they couldn't do social distancing or physical distancing for those concerts. The other thing, and I think this was unsaid, but the other thing is my sense is that Disney's insurers were not going to cover any of those acts that are coming in, right? The acts themselves might say, you know what, I'm not going to fly to Florida to perform a concert. And number two, Disney might not be able to insure them either way. So that decision might have been made for Disney in this particular case. But what they're saying is the local acts that Disney has, so the Jameters, Mariachi Cobra, things like that, they'll be playing throughout Flower Garden Food and Wine. I'm just going to call this Flower and Wine and be done with it. I think that's the better name.
Yeah. What really kind of stuck out for me was the language in there to the effect of Mickey's Very Merry and the Holidays Around the World, that they're still making a decision because, of course, they have to respond to the mandates at the state and the federal level. And
right.
Did you see the news coming out of Orange County in the city of Orlando yesterday?
Orange County has remandated masks in all public places. So with very few exceptions, such as exercising, masks are in effect. Osceola County also reiterated that they have never gotten rid of their mask requirement, although it is completely unenforced and unenforceable. There's no penalty for not wearing a mask, which drives me absolutely insane, right? Why have a requirement with no consequences? And I think what they're trying to do is address the sharp increase in cases that we're seeing in Florida over the last couple of weeks.
10 days. We've seen triple-digit increases. Yeah. And
well,
remember,
so we're up to like 3,000. I haven't checked today. We were up to like 3,000 new cases a day or something on average.
Yeah. It's a scary, crazy number. And it was March 26th, Orange and Osceola County, where they issued their stay-at-home order well ahead of when Governor DeSantis did.
Yeah.
He didn't actually put a safer at home executive order, not stay at home, safer at home, on April 3rd. And for me, that's the concerning one. The fact that Orange County felt the need to hit the reset button. Okay, everyone en masse now. I have to say, I've been hearing some very interesting things out of Burbank about their concerns about how Florida was so late to close and then so quick to reopen.
Oh, they have to be looking at those numbers. And for me, I'm wondering, is there a number of cases per day? Is there a new number of cases per day where Disney says, you know what, we in good conscience, we can't open? Like if we get to 10,000 new cases a day, we're at 3,000. At 10,000 new cases a day, do the parks really open? Mm-hmm. And I don't know the answer to that, but that's my big concern, right? That Floridians demonstrate that they can't be trusted to do the right thing. And that Disney decides that they're not going to open the parks in that scenario. And that worries me for a number of reasons. Obviously, number one, it's my job, right? Mm-hmm. But number two, if Disney pulls the plug and says, look, we're not going to open again, it'll take years to recover from that, right? Because the next time they say, okay, we're going to reopen, no one's going to believe them. Mm-hmm. So that's a big concern there. So we'll say, I hope Florida gets it under control before the parks reopen. Like, and the masks, once the mask requirement starts happening, and once the government starts mandating a few, really simple policy changes, I think we hopefully we'll see the numbers start to go back down.
We can only hope, because I've heard repeatedly from folks in Burbank that we had Disney Springs open with third party, mind you, as early as May 20th. And yet we're waiting till July 11th and July 17th to 15th. Reopen the 4 theme parks.
Open the parks.
Yeah. This supposedly factored into that.
Right. I will say this. With masks being 100% required in Disney Springs, in Universal, and in the Disney theme parks, and with all the cleaning that's going on, and I'm not joking about this, the theme parks will be safer than the average public place in Florida. Like, if I had a choice between going to Publix or going to a theme park, the theme park will be safer. And I'm not joking, right? 100% convinced the theme parks will be considerably safer than the average place I can walk out my door and visit in Central Florida right now. So that's good, I guess.
No, that's an interesting place. Suddenly I want to go to a theme park.
Right, exactly. It's a refuge in more ways than one.
Wow.
Both literally and figuratively a refuge. All right, Jim, the other announcement that just came out, there were two. First one was about the Disney Park Pass system. Mm-hmm. So this is the reservation system for getting into a park. Things that we thought Disney would build into the system, Disney's confirmed. So 1 park per day during the initial opening period. So there is no park hopping, and they'll give more information later on what you're doing if you've got a park hopper or an annual pass. You will need a My Disney Experience account. You'll need a valid theme park ticket, and if you're going to try and get in early on these reservations, we'll give you the dates in a second. You'll also need a Disney Resort hotel reservation number linked into My Disney Experience before you begin. So, Jim, what are the dates for the reservation system?
According to our good friend Carly, June 22nd for the Disney Resort and other select hotel guests, June 26th for annual pass holders, and finally June 28th for ticket holders.
All right. So people with resort reservations get a 4-day lead on this. All right. And then annual pass holders on the 26th. And then everybody else on the 28th. And I wonder if that's going to be a rotating 4-day window so for each day, I wonder if the same lead time will be allowed for Disney Resort guests. Because how right now, people staying at a Disney Resort get a 60 or had a 60-day window for fast passes. Everyone else got 30. I wonder if they're going to maintain the same 4-day lead time for people with Disney hotel reservations.
By the way, did you see the thing late yesterday or thereabouts? It used to be, again, you were staying at a Disney resort, and if you wanted to resort hop, to go over and, say, shop at the stores or grab lunch at another resort, you were free to do so. You only had to show your resort ID or just to get in. And now, evidently, it's like, if you don't have a reservation, you can't get into that resort. You are kind of landlocked to where you decided to stay for this trip.
And that brings up a great story that I told you about yesterday, but I'm now going to share with our listeners. I was making a bunch of Disney hotel reservations, dining reservations yesterday. So I was talking to a cast member, not going to mention his name. You know who you are. So I'm talking to the cast member, and Monday, on the 22nd, I'm staying at Bay Lake Tower, but I wanted a reservation at Kona Cafe. So I made that, and Ephraim, gave me the whole spiel, and he said, about the $10 deposit for your credit card and everything. And he said, if you're relying on Disney transportation to go between the resorts, allow an hour and a half each way, something like that, an hour and a half each way, because it goes through Disney Springs, implying the bus system. And I'm like, okay, well, isn't there a monorail going between the Poly and the Contemporary? And the CM said, we haven't been told that it's going to run yet. And my response was, I think we're all going to learn a bunch of things together on June 26th, like you, me, us, them, all on June 22nd. We're going to figure out what's going on. But I think my initial response when he said was allow an hour and a half, I'm like, am I swimming? Like, is a triathlon now part of the reservation system? Am I going to be in Seven Seas Lagoon doing that? But here's the best part. So we go through. I do all my reservations, right? Do all my reservations, get through all the details on it, and at the end they have to read you all the Disney disclaimers, right? So our cast member friend reads me all the disclaimers, and he says, "Do you have any questions?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Okay, now that all of that is out of the way, I'm a huge fan of the show. Please tell Jim Hill I said hi."
Oh, well, hi back. That's very sweet of you. Thank you for doing such a nice job helping out Mr. Testa yesterday. So wow.
It was great.
That's great.
It was great. Made my day. Super fun. So yeah. So not entirely sure that the monorail is running. I mean, obviously you can. I picked Magic Kingdom Resorts just so I could either walk or Uber or drive, and that's what I would do for that. But yeah, so I did see that. So yeah, to get into a hotel, you will need a reservation to either a hotel or a dining reservation to get there. That was sort of buried in the fine print of one of the releases. And I want to talk about some other fine print that came out with today's Park Pass system. Did you see that Magic Bands are going away?
Yes, or rather, the complimentary Magic Bands. In fact, what is it? As of January
1, 2021.
And that the resort guests will have the option of purchasing a Magic Band at a discount. And that kind of tells you what the financial cliff Disney is experiencing right now looks like.
Yeah, so Magic Bands must cost them a bundle with the shipping and everything.
One of the things that the folks who run the resort, to the envy of the folks at the Disneyland Resort, is the Magic Bands actually make so much money for the resort because people do so much impulse shopping without a thought. It's like, well, I want a turkey leg and I want a beverage and I want a Mickey bar. And it's only when they get back
tap and go.
It's like, what? How much? Now you have to buy the Magic Band. That reinforces there's money involved with this.
I think it's two things. One, Disney can definitely save the money. I can't remember the last time I actually used a Magic Band. I mean, I decline them now all the time, but I feel very bad when I forget to decline a Magic Band on a hotel stay because you can't reuse them. You can't reassign a Magic Band to someone else. so they can't be reused. But I think the other thing was, if you think of Magic Bands as a transition technology, right? So back in 2010 or whatever, and when the technology was first announced, not everybody didn't have smartphones, and smartphones didn't universally have Bluetooth technology. But now the vast majority of people have a phone that supports Bluetooth technology. And so anything you can do with a Magic Band, you can do with your phone. So I don't think Magic Bands were a waste. They were simply the cost of doing business while that transition to Bluetooth-enabled smartphones happened. So Disney was just a little bit ahead of the time there. I'll still use the Magic Band. I think it's easier than taking out my phone, pulling up the app, having to log in, God forbid, again, and then doing it. It's just easier to tap and go. I'll still use it. And I didn't even pay for a Magic Band, but it's nice to see for people who don't want to pay for it. They can use their phone.
Yeah, but now you're making me feel sad for the guys who work in the division at Disney to create those little bits that you can decorate your Magic Band with, or the personable limited edition Magic Bands. It's like, oy.
No, they're still gonna be doing those. They're still gonna be releasing them. You just have to buy them, which I totally get.
Always nice to see the heroin business plan in
Exactly.
The first taste is free.
So there's the big announcements. My understanding, we're waiting on one more announcement, and that is preview dates for the parks. I would expect that. I don't think it's going to be a week of previews, and I don't think it's going to be a day. So somewhere in between those two numbers is what I'm expecting. So if the parks open July 10th, I don't think the preview dates are going to be as early as July 5th, but I don't think it's going to be only July 10th either. We'll see what happens.
Okay, but when they preview, we'll have people there. So
we will. We'll be there. So that'll be the next update that we give for the Disney Dish show, and that's going to do it for this update. Please head on over to disneydish.bandcamp.com, where you'll find exclusive shows never before heard on iTunes. You can find more of Jim at jimhillmedia.com and more of me, Len, at touringplans.com. Thank you to Aaron Adams, our fabulous producer. I'm giving him the day off from assigning him tasks. We'll pick up with that on Monday's show. For Jim, this is Len. We will see you on the next show.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock has tips to protect your identity. Use strong passwords, set up multi-factor authentication, report phishing, and update the software on your devices. And for comprehensive identity protection, let LifeLock alert you to suspicious uses of your personal information. LifeLock also fixes identity theft, guaranteed or your money back. Stay smart, safe, and protected with a 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.